Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Circle of the Earth Fellowship. Uh, this episode is episode 47, so kind of syncs up good with us talking about the leader. So we're going to be talking about the 47th election that's coming up and kind of some thoughts about it from mine. And I really would like chat to hear from chat and y'all's thoughts about some of the things I'm going to bring up. I have a video to share of Owen Benjamin, Big Bear, and talking about some of this and something that's kind of funny. And it should be a fun episode. I'm glad to be back. It's been a while. I think we haven't streamed it. We didn't stream 2 weeks in a row. So anyways, thanks for sticking around and joining us tonight. Please be sure to share, like, subscribe, all of that social media so people come over here and jump and watch the live stream with us. So that being said, let's go ahead and say hello to Maggie today. She pulled up a chair to the table. It's good to see you, sister. How you been doing? Oh, what? 1 second. 1 second. It's not grabbing your audio. Give me 1 second. Sometimes it does this when it just updates. It does this weird string instead of actually what it says it's doing. There we go. And let me close that. Nope, it's still not. Okay, 1 second, guys. And it's been a minute since I streamed, but I don't know why. Let's select a different one real quick. Go back to here. Okay. Why is it not picking it up though? I can hear you. That's so weird. It's selected I have the right one selected. Let's see. Gotta make sure this is obviously on because I can hear you. Just be patient with me, people. This happens every once in a while when they do this. No, it's not you. It's definitely this. Because I can hear you on StreamYards, but they can't hear you. It's not moving. It's not moving for me, and that doesn't make any sense. They must have like changed something. I apologize, everyone. It's literally set to the right one. Maybe I just need to change it and then change it back. And then change. All right, try to talk. Maggie? Y'all can't hear her, correct? Let me remove. All right, talk again. No, that did not do anything. That's right, that's right. All right, try to talk now. Let me get rid of this. Nope. Man. Undo, mute. Oh. Properties. Is someone said StreamYard won't let anyone scream yards? Is that happening to other people? Like, has people said like had this same issue? I don't know why it's not picking it up, because it's picking it up. Here, let me try something. This is going. I'm gonna go to the screen really quick, guys. I'm gonna see if it's in here. Audio. All right.
Usually run my AirPods whenever I want, so.
Oh, nope, I figured it out. It was over on StreamYards. I had to change a setting on StreamYards because even though StreamYards had my microphone set, this one right here, or this headset to listen to you, it had a different one. There was like multiple options for the same one. So awesome. Sorry, guys. I fixed it. Without further ado, let me bring back up the other screen and we will say hello. Oops. 1 second, guys, and here we go. Awesome. All right, sorry about that, peeps. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So, oh, whoa. That was weird. Kind of did a little glitch there. But anyways, Maggie, say hello.
Hello.
Ooh, that was a dramatic hello.
Did it work this time?
Yeah, it does. It totally works this time. So we were talking a little bit earlier about something kind of cool that I wanted to bring up before I forgot was how y'all are like, oh, the harvest, first harvest is coming up, which lines up, as you were saying, perfectly with Feast of First Fruits, which is so awesome. And then you also mentioned how a week before comes the barley, which lines up so well. So I just thought that was really cool. I wanted to share that with everyone. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about the 47th president today. I think it's going to be really interesting for those that have joined since. I got some things to share. I'd love to hear y'all's comments, anything about it. Now, I did want to mention that my video with my friend John, and we had a group of people. It's called Conglobe, or Conglob, but it's Conglobe. And anyways, that video was literally removed from my account, from my history, because at some point I didn't even get to review the video. It's literally gone. But at some point, someone mentioned something about the alleged issue with the elections of 2020. And so we're going to kind of not talk about that part of the subject because they obviously are running and gunning for a channel that has 901 subscribers, who I'm thankful for every single one. I'm just saying it's kind of interesting that this small of a channel gets targeted, and we're just talking, we're just having discussions, we're just giving our opinions, sharing our pieces of the puzzle, the little things that we find along our path for truth. So it's pretty interesting that we get struck like that. But anyways, but before we get into all of that, we're gonna go ahead and do a little housekeeping. So give me a second while I set that up. Basically, we're just gonna share like we normally do and read from the comments of the last videos and all that jazz. So let me go ahead and pull this up for Maggie. And doing it this way, it's a little bit more complicated from the stream side, but it lets Maggie or other guests see what I'm sharing as opposed to waiting and seeing it on YouTube. So it's want to make it more comfortable to sit at the table. So Her vocals is way loud and muffled. Okay, I can turn that down a little bit. See if that's better. But anyways, we always like to read. Oh, I gotta pull that up for y'all. Let's pull this up. We always like to read the comments from the last videos, but we also like to read the verse of the day from Bible Gateway. Pull this up for the stream though. Okay, there we go. So, whoa. Okay, it's not doing it on stream, but it's doing it on my screen. That's kind of freaking me out. That's so weird. Oh my god. Okay, anyways. So this is, there's a few resources that I like to use that I think are, super beneficial. We live in a day and age where we have such access to information to be true seekers. And there's a lot of scriptural based resources out there that I use daily. So this is Bible Gateway. This is their verse of the day, and I think it fits the thread that we've been talking about and discussing through this whole journey from basically episode 1 till now, is that the commandments, the laws, the ordinances, these are all things that that are important and something that we've seen all the prophets and not minor prophets, and even recently we saw with John the Baptist of how they always came back to remind people, hey, keep the laws, keep the commandments. And here in Hebrews 9:28, and again, this is King James Version. I read it for the literary style. Of course, I'm going to show you more resources where you can look at all the different translations, and I suggest that you do. But so this says, so Christ was once offered to bear the sins of many, and unto them that look for him shall he appear the second time without sin unto salvation. And amen to that. And that part when it says, and unto them that look for him shall he appear. And again, to me, this is that same thread. This is those that look at him, look for him in the ways he did. And we imitate as much of the Messiah as we can, including those laws and ordinances. There's a promise here, and this is the same promise that we've seen through all the other books, is that when he appears the second time without sin and unto salvation, that's when we obtain that salvation. We're going to be looking for him, and we're going to find him, and that's so beautiful to me. Any thoughts about that there, Maggie? Beautiful.
Nope, you got it all.
See, Bible Hub is a great other resource. They have all the different translations. They have the different concordances. It's definitely worth a check out if you haven't seen it, and it also has in other languages. And then another one I like is Internet Sacred Scrolls Text. Now, I suggest that you read what the Father leads you to. But one of the things that is, we know has been taken out of our current quote unquote canon is a lot of the Apocrypha. And so this is a great place to find that. I've read Book of Enoch. That changed my life. That brought me to Torah. That showed me the truth of this earth. And so I highly suggest it. And I've been adding the Book of Jubilees into my repertoire. Learning it as I go. There's so much there to unpack and tie with Genesis and other books of the Bible. So, but it's definitely worth a read. So, that being said, I want to shout out to Chris and Liz Bailey over on Take on the World. They allow us to jump on their stream and on their channel and share our puzzles. Pieces of the puzzle with their family. So we really appreciate it. And so if you haven't checked them out, check them out. They have lots of great content. It's definitely worth the free subscription that costs you nothing. And last video we did was Gracious. Again, that was about John the Baptist. My wife showing some love. Thank you, the Mrs. Vader. I appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed or you would like to help us out, sharing this link around and helping the channel grow would be greatly appreciated. Comments really help, and like I said, we always read those off at the beginning of the stream. So if there's something, a piece of the puzzle that you want to add to the table that you feel like was missed, or maybe you believe that our opinions, our thoughts on it are wrong, I'd love to see your opinions there in the comments. But thank you to all the subscribers. We're 901.99 away from hitting that 1,000K. That 1,000K, that 1K. And we are going to be giving a Zephyr Bible away. So please comment and be subscribed when we hit that 1,000K, and you will be entered into the drawing to win a free Zephyr Bible. So if you're interested in that, that's another way to buy your free subscription. So that being said, we'll go read the comments over there as well. We got a few over there. One from Moonglow saying thank you for this comment, as well as Moonglow said, if I am understanding correctly, I saw from scriptures that Yah called on the witnesses of heaven and earth because there was no one who could witness of him until John the Baptist, who was prophesied to be that witness. When John arrived, he gave witness to Yah is in Yeshua. Then Yeshua gave witness of Yah, and Yah have witness of Yeshua. Then Yeshua works and miracles gave witness to the prophecies being true. The prophecies also give witness. We are all kind of reasons to believe. Yeah, dude, that was such a, not dude. I appreciate the comment there. That is so well said. And I think that relationship is beautiful because he gave the people the text. He gave them that thread over and over through the scriptures of what this priest would look like, what his behavior would look like. And then he sends John the Baptist to be like, hey, remember that person we were told about? That person is coming. And it's a great setup. It's such a beautiful setup that the Father not only bestows that honor to John, who John then goes on to say that he's not even worthy to unclasp, Yeshua's shoes, but then also then Yeshua referring to John the Baptist as the greatest prophet, and then saying all of the least in heaven will be greater than he. And so that's a blessing to everyone, and that's that same blessing to Abraham, that many nations will come to salvation through his seed. So super awesome. Thank you for your comment. And then no more YouTube. I agree. Where is Lighthouse? Sean, can you please tell them to hit the go button? And it said Shabbat Shalom indeed. Sweet. All right. I don't know why that's up. Awesome. So we have a Discord. So if you're interested in joining that, sharing things like prayer requests, speaking of which, Marcia is doing much better. She is still going through the healing process, but she is at home and is on the up and up. So all of those who kept her in your prayers, thank you so much. And it's a great place if you want prayers for our fellow believers to be answered, that you can go and share yours or have a place to learn of people's requests. There's also, we share memes and other content creators when they go live, in case you don't get notifications. So if you'd like to join Discord, not only is the link right there, but the link is also in the description. And then we do have a merch store. As you see, Maggie is wearing our sweater here, and we got a whole bunch of other stuff. It's a way that you can donate to the channel, but also get something out of that donation. I know that buy-in is a little bit more, but you are getting high quality merch. So to me, it's a win-win situation. If you feel like you're led to, there is a donate button, but please feel free to grab one of these cool shirts. And I am working on more, as always, coming up with ideas. The latest is this kind of modern looking. This is Circle of the Earth. So check that out if you're interested. And yeah, okay. So that is the rest of the of that part. Now I wanna kind of get into the conversation of it, and then um, we will get into some of the sharing parts of it. But let me pull this up. Let me go back here, guys, and then we are going to come back here. And so basically what I want to talk about, 47th election for the president's coming up. And the reason why like this sync happened to me was actually I was watching an episode of Owen Benjamin over on unauthorized.tv. It's $5 a month. You get all of his content, which is thousands of hours of peak comedy, ladles of gravy. And if you're a part of the community in any way, the Bears are typically friends that how does he say it? I can't believe I'm tripping this up, but old friends that you're just meeting. So that being said, pull this up, remove this. Get us back on screen, and then we will chat. So Maggie, I know you are not you're 16, so you're not able to vote yet. Have you you don't have to speak for other people, but have you given it any thought of like what your thoughts are as far as participation in the system? Or do you feel like you do participate maybe with like locally, or for you, what does it matter to you? Just kind of give me in a nutshell what you think about like the president in the past few years that you've kind of witnessed within the public sphere and all that jazz.
I don't know. I'm probably going to vote whenever I get old enough.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't watch a whole lot of news, so I don't really think about it much.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think either way you go, it's either not good or worse. So.
Yeah. I feel like it is presented to us in that dichotomy, right? That you have to pick one or the other, and then if you're for one, you're against the other, and if you're for the other, you're for the and I feel like for me, I'm going on 37. I've actually, so I'll say it like this: I've tried to vote before, but my vote has never actually ever been counted. So each time I voted, and no joke, something happened within the voting where my vote, like I got a paper back saying, "Hey, your vote wasn't counted." So some of the reasons make sense, some of the reasons don't make sense. But that being said, I almost feel like that's a blessing, and the reason why is I would say I was logically convinced by Owen Benjamin, Big Bear, that voting for the system on either side is almost consent to whatever behavior they do. And what I've realized through the different presidents that I've been alive for is that the juice is never worth the squeeze. No matter the hype that is a president is given, they never seem to be able to do what they say. Now, whether that's they have a good intentions and they get there and the system itself is, real quickly, I want to say with the checks and balances, I do appreciate that if a tyrannical person were to get into the office, they are limited in what they could do
Mhm.
openly. So I do appreciate that. But at the same time, what I kind of going back to what I said is that there's this hype that builds up, but yet the hype is fake. And then at the end of it, a lot of people just go into denial. So, so I'll give you an example. The first election of as Benjamin says, Donald Jamarcus Trump, is I was totally hooked, right? Because all the people I liked him. Sorry, all the people I disliked him, right? So CNN, all the big, uh, you know, uh, quote unquote mainstream media, all of them to me were hating on this person. So I was like, hook, line, and sinker, Trump, Trump, Trump. And I even held out, like, guys, I literally white knighted for the man because I'd be like, watch, just watch. He's gonna say something about the truth of the earth of where we live, and then he comes out with Space Force, and I just think that's so interesting how I had this like glimmer of hope, like, look, what he's the truth, he's gonna say the truth, and it didn't happen. And so another thing is that the people who voted for them, then I see that they start excusing the misbehavior, the bad behavior of the person that they voted for, almost indefinitely. Now there are people within my family and people that I know personally who never got off the Jamarcus train. They never got off MAGA, which, people have brought up that is literally the highest degree in the satanic order. So, just coincidence though, guys. We live in a world of coincidence, not conspiracy. But anyways, so what the reason why I feel like this is because the reason why I'm explaining this is because I have the tinglings of that same feelings that I had for Trump in the beginning that I have for DeSantis. And what I mean by that is I believe that DeSantis, for like Florida and Floridians, is doing a lot of great things. He's stopping a lot of things that should be stopped, that we should rid of our society. But I also see who's his donor contributors and where that money's coming from, and some of the other legislation that he's done, to help foreign states as opposed to our own country or our own state, so or his own state. So um and that a lot of times is on the kind of on the heels of messing with the Constitution. So I see some issue there. I think it is interesting that Jamarcus has started um talking about DeSantis in a negative way, although when DeSantis was not running for president, they seemed pretty friendly, and Trump gave DeSantis a lot of props. But that being said, um, that's talking about DeSantis. But I wanted to play something for y'all. This is from Owen Benjamin. I think there's one weak word in there, so I apologize for it. I'll see if I can catch it. But if I don't, I apologize. But so yeah, well, let's go ahead and play that. It's something really fun and interesting that he brought up, that he kind of pointed out. So let's go here. Transfer this over. Oh, what's up, everybody in chat? I have not said hello. I just realized. Let's go ahead and put that up. We'll do that real quick. here. Excuse me, everyone. And then let's add the YouTube chat. Oh, where is it? Weird. Okay, let's try to grab it again. Oh, why did it do that? That's interesting. It like shrinked itself or something. Huh? Did it grab it? Oh, sorry about that. If y'all can hear my dog barking in the background, someone must be at my house. Not sure who. And why is my YouTube thing all of a sudden not working? Okay, well, I can't show it on screen. I apologize. I will have to figure out what that is. But without further ado, Country Dad, welcome, brother. We got Lisa, welcome, sister. Joy, welcome. Country Fun joined us as well. Good to see you, sister. Ethereal Creations, welcome, brother. Love talking to you in Discord. Our chats are awesome. Tyler Porter, what is up, brother? We also have Frankie B. Glad to see you, brother. Yeah, dude, I'll always have technical difficulties when they change this stuff on me. Um, Sweet. We also got Al Psalms. Thank you for your comment, brother. I really appreciate that. Shabbat Shalom indeed. Um, we have. Oh, I thought that was a different one. I also see Sean. Welcome, Sean. I hope you're doing well, brother. Always glad to see you. If you're ever interested in having me on, Sean, for any chat or something, I don't. I was gonna emailing you. I kept forgetting, but since you're here, maybe this is a good way to chat with you. Um, all the people that you have those channels, those episodes with, special guests basically that you have come on. Is that something you're emailing out to them and asking them to come on, or is them like, hey, can I be on your channel? Because if it's, hey, can I come on your channel? I'd love to figure out something we can chat about. I think that'd be fun. But anyways, Jeff and Miranda, yes, they are legends over on Take on the World as well as The Way Remnant. Okay. Let me pull this up for y'all, and I'll pull it up for Maggie as well. And here you go, Maggie. And here you go, stream. Okay, sweet. All right. Oh, clicking on the wrong side. Okay, sweet. So, Owen Benjamin, it is a adult-oriented content. That being said, he shares a lot of great community building. He shares his family with the world. Over here, you can see him, and you got uh, a lot of beautiful stories, a lot of beautiful information. The true, the good, and the beautiful is definitely here. And he makes me laugh quite heavily. So I like to share his stuff when I can, because he's no longer allowed on YouTube. So if I can share him a little bit and get people to check out unauthorized.tv, and guys, he's up to episode 1703. Like, that is definitely a lot of gravy for $5. So that being said, let's go ahead and pull this up, and we will give it a listen. And I'm going to do a little audio check, so bear with me. Okay, can everyone hear that?
No, I can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
No.
Well, it's not playing right now, but could you hear it when it's talked? Okay, I'll
Oh,
play it just a second. Can you hear that?
no.
Can chat hear that? Not personal. No, I've never reached out to Big Bear actually, because I never wanted to be a grifter. Speaking about like when Jim Bob came on, I was like, this guy's totally a grifter. But anyways, no, I don't. But I am writing my first letter to him. Uh, and it's kind of a sync. But anyways, no, I don't. Okay, y'all can't hear that. Let me try this. Play it real quick. Okay. Oh, I might have to change it. Might have to change it over here. Okay, give me a second, guys. I think I know what I gotta do. I just gotta do it. Just transition that over, and then we're gonna get this down and change the sound settings, audio. Present, share screen. Might have to do entire screen. Can you hear that, Maggie? Can you hear that, Maggie? Interesting. Can chat hear that though? I'm gonna play it again. No, it's not. Here, let's go like this. Oh, I'm such a silly boy. All right, let's see if this was it. Maggie, will you talk for a second? Uh, no. It's because I switched it. Okay, let me come here. I know it's a little messed up, guys, right now, but I'm just trying to fix.
Technical difficulties whenever I'm on here. It's
No,
just me.
no, it's not. It's literally StreamYard and Streamlabs and. Okay, they can hear you now. Let's see if y'all can hear this now. No, what the heck? Why is it not capturing?
You have it muted on your YouTube, Vader. Or on your whatever that's on.
What do you mean? It's not muted over here.
Like, is maybe it's different.
That's all the way up.
I don't know.
Uh, maybe I just need to do the whole screen. Let's try that. Oh, there's Robert. Okay, give me a second, Robert, and I'll be able to add you on. Just trying to get the sound working here. Okay, let's try it. Why is it not grabbing? That literally makes no sense. Why? Nothing's changed. It's so silly. Okay, I'm gonna add you here. I'm gonna have to do a little fixing though, guys. What I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to also share. I'm gonna try to share a different screen. for everyone else and see if that fixes the issue. Stop. I'm talking to myself, by the way, guys. I'm not talking to y'all. Alright. Let's change this up a little bit. I apologize, guys. It's never not just shared the audio. So I don't know why it stopped all of a sudden. Try this. Can y'all hear that? And it's being all super crazy. Why is it showing that screen? What? Okay, let's get rid of this. Oh my gosh. Alright, let's add. I know I can add him, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. I don't know why it's not sharing audio. It makes no sense. Okay, I'm gonna keep playing it and tell me when y'all can hear it. They had to have changed anything because I literally didn't change a single thing, and this is how I've always shared. Let's try this. I'm gonna go here. It's gonna be all jacked up. Transition. All right, can you, not y'all, but can y'all hear now? All right, I'm gonna do a little wait for y'all to see if y'all when the stream catches up. Still no. It's not. Okay, I'm gonna try one more thing. I think this will be able to share it for stream, but not for chat.
It's not even close to the same guy.
It's so weird that it does this. Can y'all hear it? I didn't even think to check for it because that's. Oh wait. So y'all do have sound? Okay. So all right, sweet. At least I can share it with the chat. Can y'all hear sound over here? On the stream, guys? Can y'all hear it in StreamYard?
It's not playing.
Well, no, but when it was here, can y'all hear this? Can y'all hear that? Maggie?
I still can't. It might just be my phone, but I can't hear it.
No worry, no, it's other people. Okay.
I've never heard the sound of the
Yeah, no,
train.
I stopped sharing it because I just wanted to make sure y'all could hear it before I started playing it. But here we go. Y'all will have to, sorry, even though y'all can see it, y'all can't hear it. You'll have to go to YouTube if that's even possible for you. So I apologize. Check it out later if you can, if you can't. But anyways, here, let's go ahead and play this now for the stream. Wait, so y'all had sound for a second, but then it went away? Weird. So it worked. So I was doing something right for a second.
Vaguely for a quick second, I heard something.
Interesting. That makes literally no sense.
Just for a quick second, I thought I heard something.
My spirits were up. I totally thought we had figured it out. Um, it's so frustrating. So frustrating. Automatically share screens videos to stream. What if it's because I have just a blip? Alright, so I'm gonna keep playing it and tell me when y'all can hear it. And I'm gonna be 20 seconds. Can I add one? Can I add? Here, what if I do this? I'm gonna pause this. What is going on? Is it gonna crash? Yeah, it's like gonna crash. Sorry guys, it's just tech issue after tech issue. Okay, there, finally it removed. And then added it back. What the heck? Now it's removed. Remove. There we go. Stop sharing. Okay, now I'm gonna come back here. Cancel. I'm gonna try to play it. Okay, can y'all hear it now? I want to see something. Can y'all hear this? I'm gonna play this. Not in StreamYard. I want to see if chat can hear this, if it's just that browser. So true, Jeff Porter. Okay, I want to see if y'all can hear that when it comes up. God, this is so annoying. It's like, oh, I want to have a good discussion about something, and now all these things don't work. Okay, still nothing from YouTube. Let me try. This is the last thing I'm going to try, guys, and then I'm just going to explain it verbally to stop wasting time.
It'll work.
I literally didn't change anything, so it doesn't make sense that it wouldn't work. Nope. All right, guys. I'm just gonna skip sharing the videos because apparently they don't work anymore like they have always worked. So, yeah. Okay, so basically what he's talking about, and I'm just gonna, I know y'all won't be able to hear it, but I'm just gonna talk over it while it plays, so at least y'all have something to look at. So basically what he's talking about is, let me pull it back. So he's talking about, hey, I recently saw Trump at the UFC, and then he's talking about the fact that he thinks there's multiple Trumps, the character of Trump. And so he shows a couple pictures. So there's this picture he shows at first, and y'all can't see it. Let me at least let y'all see it. Present. Share file. Some screens let you share audios. Look for sharing audio checked on the next window. Share tab audio. That's what I have. Oh, it won't let me do it like that. I have to do it per the tab. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to try. This is the last thing I'm going to try, guys. I think if I grab it and put it in my other one, it will work. Where is it? I think this is going to work. I really do. Okay, and then do this real quick. Excuse the typing. Okay, let's try this. Okay, come here. We're going to change the share screen off of this. Go here. And then I need to go over here. Oh, I think this is going to work. And then share it with y'all. Okay, y'all can see it now over on StreamYard, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear
Yes.
it? Can you hear it?
I
Yes.
hear it on
You can hear it, Maggie?
Yeah,
StreamYard,
I can
yes.
hear it.
All right. Could y'all hear it over there?
I
Yes, I can hear it.
On both places?
It might take a second over there.
Okay.
I knew you could figure that out.
What was that, Maggie? I'm sorry. Can chat hear that?
I'm just gonna
Because
mute it.
can chat hear that? Can y'all hear that right now, chat? And y'all can hear it on StreamYard? Still? Y'all can hear that still over on StreamYard? Robert, Maggie? Okay. How about stream? Can y'all hear that? How would it make any sense that they could hear it, but y'all couldn't? I can only hear y'all talking. Maggie's voice is skipping a beat. So now StreamYard can hear it, but Stream can't hear it. So okay,
Right.
guys, I'm just gonna skip it all. I'm gonna remove it. I'll just talk about what he talks about. And I won't even play it. This is so ridiculous that it wouldn't let me share it. Oh, whoops. Let's change that back over. Yeah, y'all can't hear it. It's so dumb. Anyways, go check out unauthorized.tv. Shows Owen some support. I'm gonna get our normal thing set up and get Robert on here as well. So just bear with me a moment while I do that. And have any of them? Robert. Okay. Let's get this big. Transition. Why aren't we seeing cams? Oh, what the heck? Yeah, well, I'm glad y'all are sticking around for me just having 100 million technical difficulties over and over. So enjoyable. Oh my god. And it's not even... What's wrong with the cams now? Oh, my Lanta. Oh, okay. Why did all this change? It didn't change a single thing. Well, I do appreciate y'all sticking around for my millions of fumbles. You'll bear with me a little bit more while I set this up. But as I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and talk about what I was going to talk about. So basically, with what he talks about is that he compares these pictures of Trump, and in the pictures of Trump, you have one where he's really big and really small. And now, if anyone's ever looked into it, there's interesting things out there about quote unquote clones. Now, I'm not really getting into the clone talk right now. I don't 100% believe in clones because I don't. I guess at least when that word is used, I don't know what people are describing. But at least when it comes to at least when it comes to oh crap, I'm the wrong one. No, I want this. Okay, there we go. So when it comes, Jamarcus was president 45, and if he was to be elected for president 47, if you had the 4 and the 5, you have 9. If you add the 4 and the 7, you have 11. And what's really interesting about that is if you go back and listen to the interviews that he did the day of the event in September, you will literally see, like, hear him talking about it. Now, what's really interesting, another point that Big Bear brings up that I had never thought about before, is that the fact that Trump has no fear of his other buildings. He is, he's just like, oh, this is unfortunate. We know who it is, and he was literally the person that presented the idea of who it was. And if you even go back, there was a prediction that he made about that same event. So I think that's really, really interesting. And one of the comments that Jamarcus made while doing it was, or while doing that interview, was that he was like, well, the World Trades, those buildings were the tallest buildings in New York. Now my building is the tallest in New York, and it was kind of a interesting comment made juxtaposed to what supposedly happened at that event, and I thought it was really interesting. But more in broader terms, as I was talking about before. Oh, I never transitioned. There we go. Now everybody is in screen. So as I like I've talked before, I personally am not a huge proponent of the voting system, right? Because we live in a so-called representative republic, where we have we have delegates that then vote based upon the perceived vote of their constituents. Well, what's really interesting about that is a delegate is not anyways obligated to vote for the majority of a districts or counties, like the way they swing. They can look at those votes and still choose the exact opposite, and then that vote would go for the opposite of what the majority in that wanted area. Now, we are not a democracy, and so it's not majority rule, so I also appreciate that. But when it specifically comes to us voting, what I think it actually is it's a tribal ritual. And what I mean by that is people pick their teams. They pick Pepsi or Coke. They pick Ford or Chevy. They pick Republican or Democrat, and then they kind of go gung ho for that. Now, if you're honest and you go back and look at the stats, like during, let's say Bill Clinton, which was, in my opinion, a horrible person, we had a surplus of money. We had less crime. We had a lot less of our modern things. If you, now you could always play the devil advocate, or you could always white knight and say, well, all of these things, all these bad things that happened under Trump, that was the deep state trying to get him. And, Trump went bankrupt and was bailed out by the people that we learned about in America Freedom to Fascism, who Aaron Russo told us about in multiple documentaries about the Federal Reserve and that Bilderberg Group and all those people, and how much actual control that they have over our thing. And I don't remember, I believe it was Rockefeller, but I could be wrong. It could have been Morgan. But one of those same people literally said, is quoted saying, give me the power to print money, and I care not who makes its law. And we kind of see that where some of these big corporations, these big companies, these big entities have a lot of sway over what happens in our country. Now, an example of that is Event 201 that we lived for 2 years, even though it was only supposed to be 2 weeks. During that event, think about how much control corporations had on who could come and go and who could buy and sell. And so, though I don't think it's the mark, and I'm not attributing it to that, I do think it's a preemptive or a test in that area of submission from the general public. So I do think it's important to kind of look back on those things and realize, oh, wow, they do have a lot more say and power. And I don't remember who said it. I think it was a comedian. They specifically talked about having like that politicians like NASCAR should wear their suits should be in have embossed patches all over their suit, indicating who their donors for are from, where they got their money from. Because a lot of time these people will piggyback on the like a kind of a upwards grassroots movement, and then get into office and then start cutting, deals. So an example of that is there was a huge tax cutoff during the Trump administration. During the event 201, literally the richest people got way more rich, and that all happened under a supposed conservative. And we also had a lot of let's call it debauchery show up and kind of start rearing its head. And we had even a lot of supporters, people within that community supporting him. And so, of course, there was also a lot that weren't. But what I think that Big Bear goes on to say is that, and as it says in the title of the description, is these are two wings of the same dragon. And if you are familiar with Sean's work and with his investigating Babylon series, one thing that series did for me that I had never really thought about or had an epiphany about, that I got epiphany from, was the aspect that the evil one is here, guys. He's like a lion roaming, looking for who he can devour. It's not this wispy ghost that doesn't, when stars and athletes and people talk about them selling their souls to get these things, there's someone that they're making that deal with. And I think very much we have that same thing within the political, because they're basically bad actor, less attractive bad actors, is what politics is. And but what the reason why I bring that up is, I don't know if y'all ever caught Sean. I think he was talking to Troubling Tribune, where and he had told me this story before, but basically the story goes is that Trump has some of these, spiritual advisors, and they had reached out to Sean to, kind of field him out and figure out what he knew, or what questions they could ask him. And long story short, at one point, the evil one basically revealed himself to Trump, and Trump was very shook and scared by that. Now, of course, that's what is being said. That's not necessarily what's true. And I'm not saying that Sean's not, I'm just saying from their perspective, who knows what, I don't know if those type of people would be upfront or if they're not upfront, but regardless, I think it's really interesting. So that epiphany that this evil one is here and he's roaming and he's looking for people that he can destroy, changed my mind about how things look in society. So that being said, that's why I can't really get and I'm happy that I've never actually been able to vote, because I've never given it, as Owen explains, I've never given my consent for them to do the things that they did, right? Because I get, you can look at any president and say, well, at least this or at least that, or they had to do this or they had to do that. And I understand that, but at the same time, I think in America, we play a very dangerous game, because as I mentioned before, typically once someone votes for someone, they have this subconscious thing where then they start almost gaslighting themselves against the negative things that they see. So what is that called, when you look out for information, you find the information you're looking for? I can't think of the term, but basically that's what people start to do when people see bad orange man, they're like boo. When they say good orange man, they say yeah, but they don't actually read the articles. They don't actually look into the information, because they have that bias because of their vote. And so I almost think it's this ritual that they get us to participate in to eventually, sign our soul away, if you will, maybe more as a nation. So that being said, I'll be the first to admit that there has been presidents that have done great things for the country, though they may have not been great people. Like, for instance, I think Thomas Jefferson was a great president. I appreciate him writing what he wrote for us. But I also think that he was, ill-advised, and he had bad behaviors, and, him making his Jefferson Bible, it's kind of a grabble move. It's kind of a gamma move to be like, well, this doesn't make sense to me, so I'm just going to remove it all. And we kind of see that within modern Christianity, right? Like anything that goes against their held doctrines, they typically shy away from reading those scriptures because it would put a spotlight on that kind of darkness within the group. But I've been ranting for a whole bunch. Robert, welcome for joining us. I hope you're doing well, brother. You got anything to add about what you think about President 47?
47?
Yeah, that's the next
Keep
one.
track. 47, 40. Oh, we don't have a 47 yet.
Nope. That's
We're
the next
speculating.
one. Yeah, that's speculation, because if you checked out the thumbnail real quick, it had,
Yeah. I tell you, I think like a lot of people, I think during the time that 45 was in there, and everything seemed to be doing good. The economy seemed to be doing good, and starting to have thoughts that maybe we're going to do all right, and then 2020 hit, or 2019, and then more awakening happened. I mean, you started to see more and more, and I think Wendy Moore, she put down about the what was it, warp speed. When he started doing that, and I'm like, because we already knew that whole thing was all bogus to begin with, but when he was all behind that, and this whole warp speed, you can't warp speed biology. It don't happen, you know. So as far as that, we we just don't. I honestly, I'm not going to even be voting. I just don't care. It's going to be
Same.
Whoever gets in there, they're going to be under the control of whoever it might be, that's actually pulling the string. So
Yeah, and when I was so speaking about like, okay, so for the, you know, typically Christians are conservatives, right? Now, of course, there's many denominations of Christians, but generally, they, people who have children, people who read scripture, generally lean to the quote unquote conservative side. And I think a lot of people, including myself, during that 2016 election, got that hype because we're like, hey, this is a person actually talking about things that are important to us. And now, skip 2 years, it looked good. Skip, a year and an additional year, and we're like, whoa, what are we in? What is this? We almost thought that we were going to have the end under Trump, right? And a lot of people kind of had that thought where like, oh, this is the end. And even Christians, right? That's why they were so willing to do the whole, warp speed thing, was because they had that faith in Trump, right? And so I think this is a really good dichotomy to what we previously talked about with throughout all this stuff, right? Including John the Baptist, and the difference of these leaders, their behaviors, what they represent, and then what actually their follow through is, right? Because we have scripture, we can see John's follow through. We saw Abraham's follow through. We saw King David's follow through. Now, of course, they're not perfect men. They're not Messiah. They're not Yeshua. So they made mistakes along the way. And so I'm willing to give that to a modern man, a modern leader of our country. But at the same time, I also have a lot of reservations. So specifically with DeSantis, if you look into where his money comes from, where a lot of his donors come from, that makes me very suspicious. That makes me very suspicious that I can't trust this. When he puts legislation that basically disallows people to boycott certain other nation states, that is extremely alarming. And I am definitely looking at prophecy and knowing, eventually within that region there's going to be a third temple, a mimic of a temple, not the promised temple, a temple that's made by hands of man instead of stones that weren't hewn from were not made from man. And it's going to be a catfish. It's going to be the wrong temple, and that temple is going to be eventually, we through scripture we see that the evil one, special boy, sits in that throne proclaiming he is the Almighty. And so when there's a connection there, and what's interesting, right, is we have that same connection with 45. They made currency, they made coins with him and Cyrus's fate, Cyrus the Great. Go to Isaiah 45. That's talking about talking about Cyrus the Great. That connection to President 45 and to Donald Trump. So there's and where he got his bailout money from, his bankruptcy money from, right? So there's all this connection there. And so what I don't want people to do is, because they got tricked with Trump, and probably most of the people who will watch this video, to be frank, well, are already kind of thinking that. But if you're not thinking that, I just want to warn you, hey, we had that hype in 2016. Let's not necessarily have that same vigor that we have to support a man that we that can we trust, can we hope that he has the best for the nation, for the peoples, for all the time, if he has that best in mind. And should we hope, or should we just know we've seen this over and over and let's not join the game? Thoughts? Huh? What was that?
Background.
Tyler Porter said, "I'm voting for the Torah of Yahweh." Amen to that.
I'm voting for Pedro. Like Wendy Morgan, she wrote down about what I saw recently, is that video where it showed all the presidents are bowing to the Pope, and all the presidents' wives had to wear black dresses and whatnot, with their heads covered when they go to visit the Pope. The only one they showed that didn't have, the only woman that they showed that didn't have to dress in black was the Queen.
Oh, sorry.
Well, no, Michael could dress however he wanted.
That's funny. Yeah, that's interesting too, right? And I don't know if y'all have heard of this, but I'm probably gonna get this wrong, but I think it's called the Resurrection of Osiris. But it's basically an event that they've been doing for all the presidents, where they have this mock ritual that deals with with the um, the Washington Monument being the symbol for Osiris, and then the Dome of Isis, or the Capitol building, and it's designed after the Dome of Isis. And there's this ritual that happens with each president where they go through this, again, I can't remember if it's what it's called. I think it's called the Resurrection of Osiris. But what they basically believe is they're repeating what they used to do in Egypt, where they believe that they are summoning Osiris's spirit into the president. Now, really, what's interesting about that is, for those who've watched the Babylon series or have done research into the ancient civilizations, which is interesting, is Osiris is a name for Nimrod, for the evil one, special boy. And so, how interesting that they're waiting for this spirit to come up, right? And that's what we see in Revelation 9. So, I think that's really interesting. And even more of a sync is Revelation 9:11. Do y'all know what that is? I screen share is not an option today, apparently. I know I was working on it earlier, but I'm sorry, everyone. But I'm just gonna pull it up real quick for everyone, and I think it's very interesting. Revelation 9:11. In King James Version, it goes like this: "And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon." Right? Apollyon, Osiris, same thing. So, yeah, I think there's some connection here, and I don't know about y'all, but with our current president and doesn't it seem like a mockery? Like they mock him. They put an old man who's senile up there so he can stumble on his words. Like they're using him as a puppet. Otherwise, if any of his cabinet or close people or relatives saw him in that situation, wouldn't they be like, no, he can't do this. We need to, but they won't do that. And, this kind of gets back into the doubles, and, there's even speculation. That was from Galade 10. I probably butchered that. Windfeather, what's up, sister? Welcome for being, thank you for being here. Said absolutely 100% Torah forever. See if I missed anyone else. Robert Daniels also in the chat. Welcome, brother. If I missed anyone else, I apologize. Sweet. Let me pull this back open. Well, so unfortunately, that not being able to share my screen took a lot of what I wanted to share out. The King under the Diana Dome, totally, Joy. Yeah, it's the same thing over and over and over. And a bad dawn. Oh my gosh, that's pretty interesting. Though, to me, that's really funny. But to me, guys, this could totally be a blind spot. I say this a lot. I jealously observe the right to be wrong. But to me, I feel like the real popping off point when this current generation kind of changes, I think that event will be Revelation 9, the fifth trumpet. Because again, I think a lot of the other ones could be misconstrued in the media, could be misrepresented very easily by society. And so I think, and that's when Apollyon comes out, which I believe is Nimrod, but, of course I could be wrong. But anyways, I think there's a lot of syncs there. And again, I put Joe Biden on there. I put DeSantis on there. If you look in the middle, you got 666 on both sides. You got as above, so below. They give us two options. They give us the liberal for anything, and they give us the staunch conservative, and they give us these two parts every year, and they make us fight for it while slowly they're dropping poison into the well. And so while we're spinning around in this dichotomy of right and left and conservatives and liberals, and more so for the people who pay attention to it, it definitely tends to make you emotionally, physically spiral. And so I think we should, in my opinion, I think it would be a wise decision to not partake in that system. Now, of course, if you do, I don't think you're evil. I don't think you're bad. I'm not making any of those statements. I just think that the setup and spike that we saw with Trump, and then the follow through, what we got out of that, is looking very much to me like the setup and spike of what they're doing with DeSantis. Have any of y'all seen the stuff that DeSantis is doing, like with the anti I'll say it like this: the legislation that protects debauchery is removed, and legislation that promotes morality is in place. Um, Also, Disney does have some good movies out there that do have good family values. That being said, right, like, we kind of know what we get. Like, you could say that there's the 666 in the logo, in the actual symbol. You have, the tower breaking through the, firmament. If you flip over Mickey or do a Mickey reflection, it says wicked. We know that that Walt Disney was great best friends with Adolf Hitlerio. So there's connection there. That being said, the stuff that DeSantis is doing against Disney, because of what they were trying to support, I enjoy that. I like the way he talks and the things that he does. But I'm also in the back of my mind being like, hey, this tingle, this little feeling that I get where I think, oh, maybe this is the one. Guys, it's not the one. We know who the one was. We're waiting for him to come back. We're not waiting for some regular man. We're waiting for our Messiah, who, when he comes back, when he brings his kingdom that will last forever, but will be here on earth for that 1,000 years, in the foreseeable future, into forever, into eternity. We're not going to find that savior. We're not going to find that person. And so even if your mind comes down to, well, I gotta vote for one of them, because if I don't vote for the other, then I'm if I don't do my part, then the bigger evil will get in. Guys, no, because we even know through scripture that the people who are placed in power are placed there by Yah. It is not because we click a button on a screen, not because we check a name on a mark, that person gets there. We have no power or say in it. So if you want us to have a leader that follows, has a heart after the Father, then we should pray for that. We shouldn't think that one man is going to, that our one vote is going to elect one man that is then going to save us. We have already been promised salvation. We already have that, guys. We're just waiting patiently, enduring to the end, and enduring all things. That includes silly presidents like Joe Biden. That includes the antics of dealing with Trump. And if you're not for Biden, that means you're for Trump. And if you're not for Trump, that means you're for Biden. And all the other false dichotomies that they constantly shovel our way. And like as Maggie was saying before, she doesn't really pay attention to the news. So she doesn't really know the story, the chapters of the book that are going on, which is totally admirable. I keep a very little eye on it. But of course, through social media, things are shared and we pick them up and we see them. And just a really good sync with Big Bear's stream about it, with the 47 and the 47, the episode 47, and just a desire in me to share, like, if you are the type of person that may vote or has voted in the past, I would, like you have done with the truth of the earth and with scripture, maybe take some time and read it out and get to a place where you get that you don't need to be a part of the game, to live in this country, to do good things to people, and to live our lives. So yeah, that's kind of into my rant. If y'all have anything to share, kind of things that came up to y'all, or clips you've seen, or articles, or anything you've read, y'all want to talk about, feel free. If not, we can just get ready and close it up.
I just see how they're you can just see how they're all dividing us all up. Just kind of playing a game with us. You know, you got the left, the right. I mean, before, back, when I say like 40 years ago, it was like, it didn't seem like that. It's like, yeah, your neighbor could be of different political party than you, but you still had no problem getting along. Um, Religion, whatever religion you were, you still got along. There's not there. Now it's like everything. Your race, your religion, your politics, your what team you root for. They just make it all amplified, huge. You put everybody against each other, and I think about what is that about the sticks together won't break, but if you take all the sticks apart, you can break each individual stick.
Yep.
So with us all divided, it's easier to break us all.
Yeah, and they've literally, and what's really interesting, you brought up race real quick, is like when I was growing up, like I had no, like, I didn't even see color. That wasn't even a thought where I was like, oh, they're this way or these people are that way. I never even thought about it. But at the same time, we so-called racist jokes were more acceptable. Like, a white guy would tell a black guy a black joke, and a black guy would tell a white guy a white joke, and all our friends would say these, jokes, and no one would take it personal. No one would get hurt by it, because we realized, like, hey, kind of this laughter brings us together. Our differences brings us together. And what you were talking about, like, with the media real quick, is like, that's what they do, right? Like, we think because we see on the news about this weird person wanting to read stories in a library to little children, that it's like this epidemic of things happening all around our nation. But if you actually look into it, most counties, most libraries, they have nothing like that, or do not accept things like that. So it's these a very, very small minority that are very, very vocal, and the media amplifies that, uh, those vocals, and makes it seem like this is a huge problem that we're dealing with. And then you have, people more on the conservative side, let's say, then start making all these dumb arguments and making all these dumb excuses, like all these things. Then it almost turns the boil up a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like the presidents like work back and forth to add more debauchery and more lack of morality and more printing of money, it's just like this back and forth where they're able to, through what you were saying, by dividing us, they're able to gain step by step by step, because we're not there to stop them, because we're all fighting in each other's at his necks, because 0.01% of the population has the ability to talk to the rest of the public. It's pretty crazy, but y'all wins, right?
In the
Right?
end, that's
Right?
our hope. That's our hope.
Yep, and he's a great judge. So those that need to be judged and uh, should not receive the salvation and eternal life, like he is a rightful judge to do so, and his son is rightfully able to judge uh, righteously. So, amen for that, and thank you for that. And you know, what more can we pray for than for the son to come back? You know, come back, bring a kingdom. We want to see it start. Sweet. All right. Well, anyone else have anything they want to bring up? If not, we can skedaddle. I think we're about 15 minutes out, but that's okay. I didn't get to share as much as I wanted to because of the sharing. I will work on that, guys. And maybe I'll do like a clip video of that so I can share that with y'all. That little conversation. Yeah, I'll try to do that, guys. Sweet. All right. Well, nothing else. Let's go ahead and say our goodbyes. And we'll get out of here. So you're up first, Maggie.
Wonderful being back on again, and I enjoyed it.
Woo. Yes. Absolutely. And and to Country Kid, Maggie, and to the rest of the Country Fam, I good thoughts and prayers to y'all's harvest. Y'all's harvest season, that everything would go well and all the equipment would just work, and everything is works out as it should, and you'll have a good first fruit harvest for Shavuot, so which is coming up pretty quick.
They all say happy Shavuot.
Yeah. Sweet. And Robert, sir, if you'd like to say your goodbyes.
Yeah. Got a little late start. Dozed off. Came home. I'm wicked tired today. So looking forward to a good Shabbat. Get some rest. And Shavuot. Going to be doing a little study tomorrow morning on the Discord channel. So everyone have a great night.
Go ahead. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sweet. Yeah, we are going to a Shavuot at a local congregation, so be good to see them all again. And so cool. If y'all missed, we were talking about how Shavuot lines up with the barley and the actual harvest, because Maggie works on a farm, so she sees it. She sees the plants get perfectly ready in time, and that's such a cool blessing. And the Father's so cool with His abundance that He gives us. So sweet. All right. Well, just to kind of wrap it up, guys. Of course, you are free to do what you want, but really think about even participating in the system and giving your consent over to these so-called presidents, really these puppets of higher powers. And we know that they are not our enemies, guys. It's repeated many times, but one of them is that we know that our enemy is not of flesh and blood. So we should pray for our enemies, and that includes these people who are puppets of control. And all the people that try to bring debauchery into the world, and all the people who, we got this month coming up, which is really interesting, juxtaposed to Memorial Day, right? We have a Memorial Day that is supposedly about, and I'm not, this is nothing negative to veterans. My dad was a veteran. I'm not saying anything bad, but I'm just saying the supposed reasoning and the reason why we have that one day off to have that memorial for all the people who've died for our freedoms and who've died for our country, but then we give a whole week to people who can just do debauchery and be proud of it. It's pretty insane. So that being said, even though there are candidates out there that talk out against these things, they put legislation out of these things, just remember, we've all been tricked. We've all been bamboozled. and we don't want to connect and consent to to things that we do not know what they will do. So pray for your enemies, pray for our leaders, that they would be and become good, righteous men of the Father, that they would lead this nation out of debauchery. They'd lead us to a resurgence of those that would who choose to follow the laws and the ordinances and the commands, and they have that testimony of our Messiah. And other than that, guys, have a great Shavuot. Have a great Sabbath, of course, it being Shavuot. And thank you all so much for watching, for the likes, for the comments, for the shares, and the subscriptions. They really do mean a lot. One more mention, if you're interested in winning the Sefer Bible, when we hit 1K subscriptions, if you have commented, you will be added into the wheel, and we will pick out a person at random. And we're also looking at doing some some runner-up prizes. We haven't fully decided on that though. So if you're interested in that, show it in the comments. You got anything else to add about the number 47 and or anything else throughout the? Just thank you for the support in any way. But without further ado, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And remember, until next time, that it was Abba who loved you first. Good night, everybody. Shalom.
It's your glory, conceal the mystery. You give us the honor to search a matter out. You raise up a standard to beat back our enemy. You establish this realm, and like a scroll you spread it out. Dig deep, search it out. Dig deep, seek it out. Dig deep, go on and walk it out. Dig deep, I give you oil to fill up your cup. I give you enough to fill up your lamps. Yeah, yeah, you keep them trimmed, you keep them neat, you keep on worshiping and praising till you're at his feet. Oh, King Yeshua,